Hello! Today I felt like doing a tape nail art again, and yeah, I don't really have all that much to say about it really. I chose to use autumn colors because that fits with the season obviously. And yeah, it's just really easy to do, so let's get started. Okay, on the nails where I want to do a tape nail art, I'm going to start out with the pale nail polish. This is a yellow shade obviously by Essence, it's called Love is in the Air. Because when doing ombre nail art, well, like ombre for a nail art ID, you get what I mean, I always like to start out with a pale color. And because this one does tend to be a little bit streaky, you can see it more on this nail actually, I am going to apply 2 layers of it, just, I don't know, because I like the base to be completely smooth. And on the other nails I'm going to use a bright blue nail polish. This one is Electriiiiiic by Essence, spelled like this. And yeah, it's a really pretty shade of blue. And I'm also going to apply 2 layers of this one. And it's time for the second layers. Then it's time to do the ombre effect. I've already done this nail obviously, and I'm just using a sponge that I just, like whenever I've used it, I just cut off the part where there's nail polish. And yeah, so basically I'm going to start out with yellow, which is just the same one that I use as a base. It's Love is in the Air by Essence. Then orange, which is Fleshy Pumpkin by Essence. And then lastly Redvolution, which is also by Essence. There's no particular reason why I always use Essence nail polishes. I just happen to have a lot of Essence nail polishes because they're really good and really cheap. And yeah. So I'm putting the yellow part on top just because it's easier with cleanup, because now I don't have to go all the way to the top of the nail with the sponge. And the sponge on the ombre effect. And that's it. And then it's time to put on the tape. What I always like to do is just cut the tape before I start on doing my nails. Just because then you won't have to, like with freshly painted nails, cut some tape, and yeah, it's just easier. So I'm just using regular striping tape, the color doesn't matter because we're going to pull it off again anyways. And just create some pattern that you like. Do try to keep track of which one you apply first. Like which piece of striping tape. Gotta admit, I'm not the most professional person with striping tape. I'm actually quite awful at it, but yeah, I don't do it very often simply because it does take a little bit more time than some other nail art, simply because you do have to wait for the entire nail art to dry, or the entire nail base, to dry properly before applying the tape, because otherwise you're gonna end up pulling the base color back off. But I'm just gonna do a simple pattern. I always just like to make it all come from like one direction and then just sort of make it all come together at one point and then spread out over the nail. You could also just cut the really thin stripes with regular tape, but I prefer to use striping tape because it's not very sticky. So yeah, that also prevents pulling off the base coat of the base color of the nails. And also make sure that it really lays flat on the nail and really like connects to the edge of the nail here. Because otherwise it's going to be visible once the tape is pulled off again. I'm also going to make 2 horizontal lines, just to really show the colors. So one on the yellow and one on the orange. And then you're left with a very weird looking nail. Then I'm applying a different color on top of that. It's the blue color that I used on the other nails, the Essence one. And do make sure to really get it right at the border of the nails. And also you can just use like basically any nail polish you want for this, but do try to use one that's opaque in one coat, because otherwise, you know, it's going to be more difficult obviously. I always like to wait until the the nail polish is still a little bit tacky but not really wet anymore, but that seems to differ per person. So yeah, basically just try what works best for you. And then I just carefully remove all the tape. And I always just stick the tape underneath a different finger, because the tape doesn't really like to only stick to places where it should stick. And yeah. And always try to pull it straight across, just to prevent the lines from getting crooked. And then it looks like this. I still think it looks a little bit too empty like this, so I'm just going to add a single large rhinestone to the center. Normally I use a dotting tool for that, but this time I already had the tweezers, so I'm using the tweezers this time. And then it looks like this. And when the nail polish has fully dried, it's time to apply top coat. I'm using the Essence Studio Nails Better Than Gel Nails top coat as usual. And it really is important to wait for the nails to completely dry, because otherwise the stripes might run out. And that would be good. So this is the completed look. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye! Then I'm going to paint the shadow of a tree on this nail obviously, and this nail. And just using liquid leather by China Glaze again.